Hey everyone, welcome to the T-Log. It is Wednesday the 30th of July. In fact, it's just gone over to being Thursday the 31st, but we'll call this the Wednesday T-Log. Now, hopefully this evening for those of you in London, you've enjoyed the UK Test Management Forum this afternoon and the London Tester Gathering in the evening, and had a few beers and met a few good people. Be sure to make some blog posts, do a little Twitterage and let us know how that went. We'll look out for some more good testing events, certainly in the UK. And I think I've forgotten the name of it now, but there is a large international test gathering coming up soon that I know they intend to live stream some of the events. If I could remember what it was, that would be even more helpful, but as I can't, never mind. Now, something I wanted to talk about was the Ruby Basics series that I'm doing on YouTube. So these are slowly getting more and more attention, which is great. Getting a few more subscribers. I think I've only got like 34 right now, but that's alright. It's not about subscribers, it's about the quality of the people watching or something. Now, the Ruby Basics series is really, as it says, it's a back to basics look at Ruby. One of the main uses of Ruby for me previously was with Selenium. So I never learnt Java, utterly hate the language, and C# was too Java-like, so Ruby was it. And so what I'm doing here, I'm trying to put together in a reasonable learning sequence a whole set of Ruby tutorials. And what I did today was to sit down with myself and put together a Trello board. Now the Trello board, I'm sure most of you testers out there will recognise what this is and you'll notice that the completed section over here is exactly what I've completed. So these are all of the sort of basics 1, as I've referred to it as, and I'm just working on the basics wrap up now. So I'm just hacking away at a piece of code or a script in the background here that pulls together everything that we've learned so far. And in this series that I'm putting together, I've got here, and this is fairly arbitrary, but it feels like this is the right order: Basics 2, Basics 3, Intermediate 1, and maybe there'll be something in between here, but I've skipped then to Advanced 1. So once I finish the Part 1 Basics wrap up, which is covering what we've looked at so far, we'll go on to the Basics 2 sections, and this is, I guess a little deeper, more nuanced ways that Ruby can do stuff. So hashes and symbols are good. Methods and classes we'll have to cover. Blocks are, there we are, modules. Yeah, blocks and modules. Kind of another way of grouping together useful sections of code. And then later on, somewhere, we'll look at how we might split blocks of code off into different files and then include them in our script. So when we finish Basics 2, again we'll have a wrap up, we'll go into Basics 3, Intermediate 1, etc. So where we're going with this is to get to a point where we're fully able to use all of the main components of Ruby, do things like iterations, managing ranges, regular expressions, etc. Pulling in external files, making our own externalized files from perhaps the file that we're working on directly, should we say. And then looking at how we use file types, how we read and write data from different sources, maybe put a little UI on the front of what we're doing, etc. And then we go into what is essentially starting to do development with Ruby. So this Trello board is public, you can have a look at this, and you can click on, if you open the Trello items, we've got things like these checklists, where you can see what is coming up in terms of that component. So have a look if you want something Ruby-ish in here. In fact, what I'm going to do, I've just remembered. So possible here would be, of course, Watir. So let's add that. Maybe we'll do a little Watir as well. Water, however you pronounce it. But that is kind of where this collection of Ruby tutorials is going. Now, on that flavour, that Ruby-ish flavour, Pat Maddox has started again the RubySteps course, I think it is, and as he says, it's daily coding practice. And what this does is Here we go. On a weekly basis, you do a bit of Ruby, a bit of Rails, a bit of TDD, a bit of object-oriented, and then we go into refactoring. And we keep going round and round on these. And what he's actually done is to set up a repository where you can, get some instructions about how you get yourself set up, and then start actually running the lessons. So I've literally just got that stuff installed. I'm about 3 days behind, but I believe I can catch up pretty quickly. We'll see. And that's the Ruby-ish stuff that I've been working on. So always keen to promote that. I think I get that commercially you might want to be using QTP with obviously VBScript, but Java with Selenium, etc., and just use the most popular tools and technologies in order to get employed. And hey, that's a factor for all of us, right? Especially the likes of myself who are contractors. We constantly need to keep our hand in to what potential employers will want. But Ruby is, as you know, my little baby, and I'm determined to get that down and hopefully continue to encourage people to use Ruby. I think it's a great language. It's really useful. Not knocking VBScript, JSON, JavaScript, all these other bits that we need because of the ubiquity of the internet and those technologies. But Ruby, Selenium, Cucumber, RSpec, it's always going to be that for me, I think. Now, crowdsourcing is something that gets, that kind of reappears. It's there definitely, and I've just discovered a new, well, it's not new commercially, but new to me, crowdsourcing company called Testlio. I assume that's how you pronounce it. And in fact, I've signed up. Now, there's as his name Justin mentions on his blog post here, Testlio seems a little bit different, where instead of fighting over raising individual defects and trying to be the first to raise the most defects that get accepted so you can get paid, Testlio seem to assign you to a testing group. That group gets paid for a set number of hours, and you have a testing mission essentially for a period of hours that is going to bring you a certain amount of cash. So in terms of reward, that's good, and the fact that what are you doing? You are collaborating with other testers instead of competing with them. I like the idea of it. I've just literally signed up tonight, started answering a few questions and getting around the community on Testlio. So we'll see how that goes. And always honest, here is my testing game score. Interesting. I guess I'm adrift 34 points here. I think the first test is broken, or clearly my perception of what that test is about is broken, because my answer was none of the above. I'll leave it there though. If you want to go to testlio.com and sign up, go for it. Have I got my profile? Let's see if you can see my profile here. It's logged me out. Never mind. I'm sure it won't let me go back either. In fact, I should be able to log in with LinkedIn. Have a visit of Testlio, have a look around it, hit the community. Why won't it let me go to my profile? Okay, here we go. Okay, so it will allow you to put your expertise, your testing expertise in, what devices you have. In fact, I'm just cautious about clicking on these. Okay, so it doesn't give away my personal information. You know this stuff anyway. So you can put these, these details into it as you would expect, and then you can, for example, hit the community, answer some questions, ask some questions. I've been on there answering a few, and start to engage. Now, what's going to happen? And I think you saw it. Was I'm just trying to find. Okay. In fact, if I go back to the home page. Here we are. Okay, so what's going to happen now is it looks like Crystal is going to do a Google Hangout, video WebEx with me and just ask a few questions about what kind of tester am I. It sounds like she's going to pose a few quizzes and things like this. I believe. Oh, UTC +1. No, this has just changed. That's definitely just changed on me. Okay, worry about that later. I thought it was 1 AM. We'll look at, okay, maybe this is another part of the testing. Interesting. Now, So that's Testlio. I don't know much more about it than that. I know I got 66 in the test. Who knows? Let's see what she reveals on that. So that's pretty interesting stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what Testlio is like. I have signed up for a couple of the others that will go unnamed. You know who they are. Little hint there. And I didn't like them. Didn't like the setup at all. Didn't think they were test oriented. This looks like they are. So do have a look at that. Testlio.com and go check it out. Right, and tell me how. See if you can beat 66. And if you do, send me an email to tell me what I missed. On here, however, I found a question about who is the best tester. Can't see it now. That's often the way. Who is the best tester? Everyone was saying James back, James back, James back, oh, and James back. Oh, Michael Bolton and James back. And annoys the crap out of me. You know, and in fact, they were saying that James Back is the father of testing. I don't think so. There were definitely people around before James Back and Michael Bolton. Love those guys to bits. The work is absolutely pivotal to the way modern testing is approached. You know, I was going to describe James and Michael as the sort of Einsteins of testing, and what I mean by that is, you know, Einstein's general theory of relativity and then special relativity were pivotal moments in physics in the world of science in a way. Everything changed after there, but there were giants before and giants after, and that's the way it is with James and Michael. And I don't think would their egos be huge enough to go, I am the fathers of testing? I doubt it. I posted on there people like Elizabeth Hendrickson at Test Obsessed. I think she's pivotal to the kind of developer tester world perspective. So I class myself as a test architect. That's why I do the testing stuff, plus I mess around with technology, because that's my orientation. I think most of us, if we look properly, are test architects. To me, Elizabeth Hendrickson is the kind of seminal test architect. Another guy that I would highly rate, and I would recommend you go and read his blog, is Scott Barber. If James and Michael are the fathers of the context-driven school of testing, then to me, Scott Barber is definitely the father of current modern performance testing. This guy is absolutely fantastic. The material, again, another tester who just gives absolutely tons of stuff away, is personable, approachable, and makes himself part of the test community. Really fantastic. So there are plenty of mothers and fathers of the software testing profession out there, and I don't think you can just say James and Michael all the time. If you do, you're missing a lot of stuff, and you need to read more broadly. Talking about test community and stuff, it looks like my article to Testing Circus in August is going to make it. Unfortunately, I had to find a new profile picture, so I've either got one where I'm kind of sat at an angle looking like a TV host or something, I don't know what it is, or one when I was skiing. So let's see what Srinivas decides to choose on that. But I look forward to you reading the August Testing Circus and telling me what you think about my article on security testing services and how we can think about them and how we can model a delivery. Okay, so that's my quick ramble for tonight. I will go away and finish my RubySteps installation and get ahead. Well, catch up at least. Okay. Well, thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you in a video very soon.